There's the Zed pick, perhaps, that actually manages to slip through. Again, you don't know where this is going.
Yep.
Because both Ryu and Insect really like these AD assassins. And as many of you know, Insect, he's got, some players have signature champions. Messiah has Twisted Fate, where he's just so ridiculously good. Froggen has Anivia. It's like you just don't let players have these champions. There is no circumstance where you should really let KT Rolster B have Zed, because not only are both two players so dangerous on it, it's Insect's signature champion, and you have no idea where it's going. And KT Rolster B doesn't even have to decide where it's going right now. They can wait it out.
Yeah. Zed could be anywhere, man. He's a real ninja. And there's the possible Bears pickup for MVP Ozone. We'll see if they decide to just go with the carry right away. Yeah, carry support. Lulu Varus. Not wanting to give away a whole lot just yet, except giving away that they are not going to have him play a hyper carry that game. So that's going to be something that KT Rolster B can kind of build off of. Maybe a little bit of a surprise too, given the reliance that Imp kind of has on those hyper carry champions.
Yeah, we'll have to see what MVP Ozone's plan is here. MVP is, in Club Masters, they really came out with some interesting team compositions that proved quite effective enough to win the entire tournament. And they're not afraid of making some risky decisions, that's for sure.
I'm already getting a little bit scared for Ozone, man. Caitlyn and Jace picked up for KT Rolster B. This is kind of a scary long-range comp, and I know Zed doesn't necessarily fit into the kind of long-range mentality, but he can still poke. His Q has actually pretty decent range overall, and when the fight actually starts, he's going to be able to get in there and capitalize on the shock blast, ace in the hole. They're going to kill people very quickly with those three champions alone.
Yeah, I'm curious as to where this Jace is going. Jace is not really a someday style champion, and so I assume that's going to be put in Ryu's hands in mid lane. But KT Rolster B maybe have been practicing, and they might surprise us with some new champions. But
it is the playoffs, so this is where we're going to see players' new champions come out that they've been working on for the last month or two. Wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case. And will we see Rise and Lee Sin picked up for MVP Ozone?
I think we probably will. These are good champions, and Dade is a known Rise player, so he's going to be the one dishing out most of the damage this game. He is going to be going teleports.
Yep. And there it is. We may have that support Fiddlesticks.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
I would love that. I would love that so much if that were the case. Come on, Mafa. Lock it in. Don't be afraid. And it looks like we may have a Jace top if they lock in that Nasus, too. So someday, maybe does have that new champion. There's a lock-in.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm curious what exactly this is going to be. And there's a Nunu. They're jungling Nunu.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh no, top lane Nunu, obviously, Lee Sin.
Well, you can blame Lee Sin too.
Well, that's true.
So this is very interesting. We've seen top lane Nunu from time to time. Voyboy and Soaz in NA and EU, respectively. He shuts down lane really hard, and this will allow them to do a lot more damage on Imp while still peeling with the absolute zero. And he's such a lane bully, too.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard for him to actually shut down Jace. Usually he's more effective against melee top laners.
Yeah, well, Jace has a decent amount of range, so we'll see what they can do. MVP Ozone going for the intimidation factor in the new Nunu portrait. Scary. Someday playing Jace versus Home playing Nunu. And in the jungle, we have Insect on Nasus versus Dandy on Lee Sin. Pretty unsurprising jungle choice for Dandy. Insect going to be running the lane, trying to wither like there's no tomorrow, because if they don't win today, there won't be for their team in this tournament. Ryu playing Zed versus Dade, playing Rise in the mid lane. And down to 80 carry. Score playing Caitlyn, the immortal Score, going up against Imp, playing Varus. Time for Imp to put his CS, his gold where his mouth is. After all that trash talk last week, Mafa playing Fiddlesticks versus Mata playing Lulu. This is going to be really cool, guys. I love this support matchup, man. It's going to be fun. Here we go. Game number 1. Rolster B versus MVP Ozone. Let's get in the game.
Well, there's Nunu in top lane. He's running a bit of He's got flat, 8 flat, magic penetration, 8 percentage. Magic penetration, as you can see right there.
Penetrating snowballs.
That's right. Well, I'm curious as to how this is going to work because we have 2 champions in Nasus and Nunu that really hurt these AD carries. And he's actually starting with an Elixir of Brilliance.
Huh, okay. That's a little bit odd.
Yes it is, Doa.
Uh-oh.
So this is batch 3.6, by the way, so that's a very expensive.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we'll see what he can do with it. I mean, okay, here's the thing. We see so many weird stuff, so many weird things in champions that we're like, well, that's interesting. I wonder if it'll work. And then when we say that, I feel like usually it does. These players are practiced enough that things just don't kind of happen in champions. It's all very well planned.
Yeah, I'm curious about what Dade is going to be doing here as well, because he's taken the very greedy Sapphire Crystal start, and this can cause problems, especially against a very aggressive champion like Zed.
I was going to say, it's hard to do that against Zed, man. I mean, you're going to eat at least a couple Razor Trinkets when you're laning against Zed. Those do not do a small amount of damage, even early on. It
also makes you pretty darn vulnerable to early ganks from Insec as well, which is clearly going to be an issue. Yeah, and they're actually going to be doing the solo lane.
Yeah, no lane swaps.
I just really assumed that we'd be seeing a lane swap out of MVP Ozone. I'm quite surprised.
Well, I mean, they almost been practicing quite a bit. And so we'll see if it pays off, basically. Man, that's what it comes down to. You know, at the end of the day, you've got to trust your players, and it looks like Ozone trying to do that here. Dandy and Ohm coming up into that top lane. If they can get a slow, Dandy might be able to do some decent damage to Someday. Ignite on Ohm as well. He's going to come in. There's a snowball for the slow, Dandy. Oh, he misses his 2. Nice dodge from Someday. Good juke. And so that just didn't work out at all. So a little bit slower start in the jungle now for Dandy because of that.
Well, it was kind of a tell because what happened there was they plopped down the vision ward up in that brush, and then it was warded by KT Rolster B, and then that ward was destroyed. So it was pretty clear that they were going to be trying to make some sort of play because they had invested in this vision ward for the tri-brush early on. And so Someday just playing that very carefully. And he also got the Ignite out, too, from Ohm. So that's going to be just one less gank chance at the S later. And again, Someday is a really good duelist. Now he's going to have problems.
Insec in trouble trying to take this blue. He has to pop his flash immediately here.
Yeah, they did have a good ward right there. So you know, the other thing I'm surprised about, Doa, is that I expected MVP Ozone to come in with a really strong level 1 plan because KT Rolster B is a world-class team, but they are horrendous at level 1. They rarely ward enough, and Mafa taking a bunch of free tower hits.
He does manage to dodge a little bit. He took a shield from the safeguard. Dandy trying to finish him off. Doesn't work. Mafa will survive, it looks like. Oh, close call there. Mafa getting a little bit too close to the turret. And look at Home. He popped his elixir, and he's got Someday low on health.
Yeah, he still has that crystalline flash, though, and he might try and go all in. No, he's going to get hit by the hammer a couple times.
Yeah, it's a bit dangerous, I think.
But this is the top lane Nunu is just a huge bully.
Yeah.
The issue is he just offers nothing but Blood Boil and Peel in the late game. So
well, the mana issues, too, I mean. He's going to run out of mana. He already has, pretty much.
Well, yeah, but with his passive, he'll still be able to cast those free spells because he's actually going to be autoing these minions. So that's why he's taking a few more auto attacks right here. So he can trade.
Oh. Somebody's going to die in this top lane soon, man. I can feel it.
We'll have to see.
Disturbance in the force.
Does have a point in consume, but he's just going to go back.
He's not hungry yet. Going on a bit of a diet. Doesn't want to overeat.
And so we do have this 3v3 in the bot lane as well. This is just some pretty classic push wars down here. Yeah. You know, I really don't mind, though, on this specific team with this specific player and Om that they have this. You know, the thing about Om, like we were saying, he's really just been playing these tanky champions to help support and peel for Imp. And this is another good way that he can help support Imp.
Yeah.
And it also improves his laning phase in a lot of ways because he can be the bully here when that's generally not been his strength as a player in lane. So I think it's a really smart adaptation, actually, for MVP Ozone to run this top lane Nunu, and it works in this specific team with this specific player.
Yep.
And I think it's very smart of them to realize that and give it a shot here in the playoffs.
Yeah. And there's the first turret. KT Rolster B taking that one. MVP Ozone just taking a little bit too much damage to their champions, getting pushed back. Dade and Ryu still duking it out the mid lane. Pretty even up on CS. Nobody's decided to go all in on anybody yet. Ryu, of course, waiting for that level 6. He just got it.
You can see how much damage
wow.
these snowballs do early. It's a great spell, especially if you have a little bit of AP and Magic Bend to back it up.
Yeah.
Here we go. He's heading back.
Snowball's always done a scary amount of damage, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm always like a little bit surprised about how much that spell actually does whenever I lane against a Nunu. Or play it myself, I guess. But someday learning the hard way of the damage of snowballs.
And KT Rolster B surprisingly playing this game pretty passively. This is not typical of them. Usually we see them with a bit more aggressive lanes, but I think they've been kind of taken by surprise by MVP Ozone. I mean, this is not what I would have expected them to do either.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of taking a little bit of time to sort of discuss amongst themselves and kind of figure out how they're going to end up beating this late game. And someday taking another snowball to the face. And I don't care if it's just a regular snowball, man. Anyone who's taken a snowball to the face knows that it's kind of painful. Especially in spring where it's kind of like slushy snow. It's more like getting hit in the face with like a thing of ice crystals.
It's always fun.
Hurts. And look at this, Someday coming in on Ohm again. Low health, just trying to bully him as much as he can. Ohm with a tiny little CS advantage right now. And it looks like for now, KT Rolster has rotated their bot lane up to the mid lane. So just pushing down that second turret, allowing Someday to just farm up in that mid lane. And this is good, man. I mean, this is what we can kind of expect from KT Rolster B, where although, yeah, they may not have expected this, it's not really changing their playstyle. They're still being, and there's a teleport that got canceled, it looks like, but KT Rolster B still being methodical, you know, just pushing turrets, not dying, waiting for those opportunities.
Yeah, and you can see how hard this is hitting Someday up here, too. You just can't get this Nunu out of lane. It's incredibly annoying. Absolute zero burn there as well. We didn't really see what the... Looks like he was just clearing out a minion wave to push, so he used his ult to do that. But it's... I don't know, Doa. Like, it's very hard to deal with this Nunu in lane, as I keep saying. The Consume, too, just keeps him there. He's basically just an immovable object.
Oh, yeah.
But... all the same, Someday has been able to, he's falling behind CS now, he was relatively close, but he's opted to go for this fast tier, as we see many Jaces do, of course, but in this situation...
well, it's not going to be quite as fast as it usually is.
Yeah, exactly, so...
it's going to be tough. Ryu lurking in the tri-brush, maybe waiting for an opportunity to come in on Dade after he gets that blue. We'll see if he decides to do it. Oh, he's poking in there. I think he did get seen. Yeah, he
Dandy
did.
actually picked up the blue buff right there.
Whoops.
Little error in the transfer.
They might have freaked out a little bit too when they saw Ryu come in and just Dandy immediately smiting and just.
And Insect's going to solo Dragon right now.
Yeah.
So.
He's got that level 6 on Nasus. He can do it.
And I guess we're not going to look at it, but he's definitely soloing Dragon right now.
It's happening, guys. Trust us. Yep, there's the Dragon. So look at the gold lead already. 9 minutes and a 2K gold lead for KT Rolster B. So even without any kills, that one turret and then just good farming and good lane presence, they've been able to take a fairly decent little gold lead early on.
Yeah, this is KT Rolster B. They play a very measured, strategic game.
Yeah.
And what this says, too, about KT Rolster B's game plan is that they are perfectly confident in their ability just to farm up into the late game against a team known for its hyper carry star in him and still win. So we'll have to see if this gamble pays off, because this is definitely the type of game that MVP Ozone wants to play.
Do you think if Imp had been playing more of a hyper carry type carry that they'd be playing a little bit differently? Do you think we'd see more aggression from Insect?
Maybe. I don't know, but I think that you have to consider this Varus up there in terms of hyper carry status simply because there's a Nunu on the board too.
Oh, that's a good point.
So having that extra buff is really going to help the damage output, of course, as well. So
it does bring a lot of utility to the team fight in terms of straight up damage, because now it's like the best of both worlds, you know?
And MVP Ozone's team composition is very scary. That one absolute zero on a top lane Nunu that actually has items can do a lot of damage.
Not to mention if he's able to flash in and get wild growth immediately, there's no way you're going to be able to run off of that before it goes off.
Or Chain of Corruption, too.
Yeah,
if you can stick an entire team where they really don't have any way to deal with this. Now, we do have Silence from Fiddlesticks, which is going to be a huge, you know, Maffa really has to use that ability carefully.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's really the only one that can stop this absolute zero channel reliably. And so it's kind of his job to save the Dark Wind until he sees that channel starting. But there's a lot of damage here, and the ability for MVP Ozone to AoE CC and keep people inside the Rise ult is strong.
Yeah.
So I think both these teams have very good compositions, but I have to say MVP Ozone, they're looking pretty scary, especially as they go into the late game.
Yeah,
and Dade gets really farmed and gets a lot of items down on him.
Do you think there's going to be a point, though, because we see this gold lead increasing continuously rather for Rolster B? Is there going to be a point where it doesn't matter because they're just going to be too far ahead?
Oh yeah, there will be.
Yeah, that's what I'm a little bit worried about now. That like Ozone, yeah, well they want to get to the late game. Once they get there, they might find a very farmed KT Rolster B.
Yeah. Well, it's just about how they play it out and if they can keep their remaining objectives alive or not. Maybe if they can contest a dragon next time. They kind of gave up on Dragon Vision, so it was sort of a freebie for Insect. Now, it's not the end of the world. I think that, again, I keep saying it, but they really want to play for this late game. So having dragon fights right now is not necessarily the smartest thing in the world that they can do.
Wow, and there's just nothing stopping Rolster B from taking these turrets at top lane. The final tier 1, nearly dead already. Oh, Imp. Oh, that's dangerous. Ryu wants to move in on it, but he doesn't know where all the members of MVP Ozone are right now. He's going to be content to take out that ward. I think that's a better decision. He probably could have jumped on Imp, but he just didn't know that it was safe enough.
Yeah, I want to point out, too, KT Rolster B's Vision Ward strategy right now. If you take a look, they have a couple Vision Wards in the top jungle, and that's keeping them safe while they push up this turret, as well as giving very good vision control over their opponents so that they can actually get into these jungles and know exactly when they're being seen and when they're not. So I really like this. It's allowing Insect to do a lot of counterplay. And same thing with Ryu. He was running around there. He actually cleared out that ward by Blue Buff. So they're trying to create picks. And I think that's very smart because in general, they've got a much stronger duel heading into the mid-game than most of the members of MVP Ozone, who are going to need a little bit more time and a little bit more farm to become as effective as their counterparts.
Yeah, I would agree completely. So, we've had a very passive game, too. I mean, just not a lot of action overall. 13 minutes and no kills yet. Bloodthirsty Lulu not living up to my standards at all this game. Come on, Mata. You know you want a KS with an E. I can feel it, man. That's what all Lulu should strive to do. As many KSs with your E as possible.
Doa's Lulu school.
That's right. If I had to release a guide, I would be like, find somebody low on the other team and use E. Like wild growth somebody, usually yourself, when you're going to tower dive and kill someone. That's how you
remember to flash wild growth yourself when your jungler comes to provide the frontline CC.
Keep in mind that Glitterlance has a very long range, and that can be useful when you allow your carry to tank turret hits at level 2 when you dive. That's the things you need to know if you're going to play Bloodthirsty Lulu. The AD carry is just a tool, a vehicle for you to get more bloodthirsty.
It's a champion sacrifice.
That's right.
And sacrificing your own AD carry also pleases Bloodthirsty Lulu.
Yes, exactly. It's a sacrifice. It's a necessary sacrifice, man. It needs to be made.
Well,
someday I'll stream. We'll see.
I would love Riot even more if they released a Lulu skin with her coated in blood, dripping with gore.
Maybe. We'll see. If enough people tweet at Riot, maybe that will make a difference. This tier 2 turret in a bit of trouble here. We may see our first fight of the game. Here comes the teleport coming in. Dade with the home guard running in. They get the runic. On Insect, he's in a little bit of trouble here. There's the save, the Corruption swinging down. Absolute Zero coming in from home. He gets kicked to the side. A little bit of damage. There's a surprise party as well. But Fiddlesticks dies quickly. Ozone just dominating this fight. Look at that. Ryu gets trapped in the room prison again. He's going to come over the wall, flipping at Shadow. Look at the death mark avoiding it. And he lived though. Doesn't look like it. A double kill for Dade. Oh man, Ryu gets him with the death mark in the end, but a 1 for 4. What a fight for Ozone.
Gotta be careful though, because Sunday's still here and he is on the hunt right now.
Yes, indeed. Well,
okay, so in that fight right there, MVP Ozone that was a great play call by them to engage. They knew that Ryu wasn't there, so they took up. You know, if Ryu had been there for that fight, it would have been drastically different. But instead, let's take a look at it again. So the home guard teleport, absolutely perfect, and they just caught. Yeah. So good. And so right here, you can see a great absolute Zero catching so many people. And it was interrupted there by the silence, but it bought him enough time for MVP Ozone, the rest of their forces, to catch up from the rear.
That engage was just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen, man.
That was great, but they do get a dragon.
Great. Oh, Insect a little bit of trouble getting forward attack. Litterlands again. Flutter, see Lulu coming in. Oh, but Imp steals the kill. Oh well. And they're chasing him now. Score in big trouble here. He doesn't escape. Not immortal today. And Ozone starting to look a little bit scary. They're still 3K down, but man, they have just absolutely disintegrated this KT Rolster B team, man. They have split them up so well.
Yeah, they have, and they're doing a good job of coming back. Now they're actually going to be able to take a turret, which will help them a lot in terms of this gold deficit. But it just goes to show how good KT Rolster B is as a team that can take global objectives.
Right.
And they're still in the lead in spite of some pretty critical team fight losses right here, and Ryu really not being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, they have to back off here, and I feel like a lot of what we're seeing too is just how good the Korean teams are at hitting timings. Like MVP Ozone probably had that in mind. You know, everybody was about the right level and about the right items, and it was time to go in on a team fight. They engaged great. They bought themselves a new lease on life in this game. Yeah,
I also really like Dade's item choice right here. Going for that fast. And actually, here's going to be a fast Baron.
17-minute Baron.
And this is what KT Rolster B does, folks.
They are, but they're going to get found out, I think. Will we see no wards coming over? They just don't know. They don't even suspect it. There they see Score. Trap going down. They're going to disengage on Baron. No, never mind. They do get it. Absolute Zero coming down just to try to break up the team. Home doing a good job. They manage to pick up Score. Can they get anyone else? Yes, they do get Insect as well. So Baron, and Mafa having to surprise party over the wall to get away.
But in that engagement, you know, they still got...
Someday
he'll get out.
Does. Barely gets away.
You know, even in that engagement right there, KT Rolster B, probably the fastest Baron team here in Korea. They love taking these early Barons. Usually they have really good plans for how they're going to take them fast. And we see that again with a 17-minute Baron here this time around. Now, that's so important to controlling their gold lead, and again, you see them, that objective is now off the map. It's gone very early to KT Rolster B. They continue to have a gold lead in spite of the fact that they're down 7 kills right now and have only a single one onto Ryu.
Yeah. I mean, in all this, they don't need to do some sort of big push with this Baron buff either. They can just continue to be methodical and just be more effective at it.
And yeah, and again, look at what KT Rolster B is doing. Vision wards deep into the enemy jungle. They know they need these picks. You're not going to be able to fight MVP Ozone in a situation where you have to have a 5v5 if you have the composition that KT Rolster B does, unless you're significantly ahead. So they're really well set up to engineer some picks. They've got Wither, they've got the Fiddlesticks Sphere, they've got really long single target CCs and a lot of single target damage. So I think that if Insect can continue to control the vision, they're going to be in really good shape. Now, MVP Ozone has done a very nice job so far of catching KT Rolster B out of position. Dade in particular, landing those very critical rune prisons.
Yeah.
The problem with MVP Ozone is that they don't have a reliable method of engage.
Him taking a big hit there. From that shock blast, and Omi gets a death mark on him. Ryu thinks he can finish him off. Can he do it? There goes the death mark. The ignite, though, not going to be enough. And I'm a little bit surprised about that. I feel like Ryu kind of overestimated his damage.
And here we go. Here's the home guard teleport.
Yep, coming in from behind right now. Someday already low on health. Insect pops his ultimate. Maffa gets a nice fear, nice low. There's a wild growth on Dade, though. They're going to chase down Insect. He's going to go down again. Dandy a bit low. Safeguards away, dodges that shock blast. And MVP Ozone in good shape here. They get a kill. They use that teleport, but they at least got a little bit out of it.
This is the problem, though, is that they have such poor engage in general that they have to rely on a teleport rise with home guard boots to actually get the engage.
It's a little bit weird.
And needless to say, that's not going to happen very often because he's taking the home guard instead of the distortion, so he's not going to have those super short summoner cooldown times. And so you're really looking at a 4 to 5 minute, depending on, he's probably spec for utility because he's Rise.
Yeah.
But that's not a reliable timing. And it's very easy, too, for KT Rolster B to know when it's coming and when it's up and when it's a danger.
Well, it's going to be interesting because, I mean, home, you got to think that he's not going to get a lot of absolute zeros off this game, too, because there's the silence, there's the knock away from Jace on the KT Rolster B side as well. So it's going to be tough for Nunu to really have a big impact in team fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's itemizing to be more of a support or jungler right now. You can see we have 2 Lockets of the Iron Solari. Yeah, and so they're just trying to protect their carries. Everything MVP Ozone is doing right now is just to keep Dade and Imp alive long enough to put out that damage. And so by having subsequent shields, you're actually going to be able to get that now. Ryu.
President Imp and Vice President Dade on this team, I guess. And the rest of the team is a Secret Service. All right, so MVP Ozone just trying to get back a little bit of vision control in their jungle. Trying to counteract the good warding that Insect and the rest of the team have been doing.
And you can see right there, only a difference of a few hundred gold between Score and Imp right now, in spite of the fact that Score has no kills and no assists, has less farm. That's just been the power of KT Rolster B's ability to control Dragon, Baron, and get those turrets down.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that you can play League of Legends and not even care about team fighting if you have a team that's coordinated enough to do so.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of gold in the objectives, man. You crack open those turrets and they're filled with money.
It's a really poor saving system. You know, I'm not sure about these people.
I don't know. I think it's pretty good because it shoots at people that come close.
But you always have people running at it. You always have these minions trying to knock it down. Your gold is constantly under assault.
It's a bit entropic. You know, it's always going to fall eventually. Maybe it's just a metaphor. I don't know.
There's probably some metaphor too.
It's very deep. Ooh, Mata taking some deep wounds from that shock blast, and they're going to take a turret. So Dragon for a tier 2 turret here. Don't know if MVP Ozone really wants that.
You know, KT Rolster B just doesn't even care right now. They're not even. It's so. This game is very interesting because these teams are not even playing the same game. Like, they
basically, they
want very different things, and so there's not even any real action at all. There's just maneuvering around the map and trying to get objectives for KT Rolster B and MVP Ozone once every 5 minutes, being able to force them into a team fight.
Yeah. We've got about, what, 30 seconds, 45 seconds left until the teleport on Dade is up again, and then we will see another teleport, home guard initiation.
Well, we're getting very close to Baron being up again as well, so MVP Ozone may decide to save it again in case KT Rolster B decides to take a bigger risk this time. And look at Ryu. He's got Black Cleaver and Last Whisper. This is not a team fighting. It's not a team fighting Zed. This is an assassination pick Zed, right?
Yeah, this is solo queue hero Zed right here.
Yeah, exactly. He's just wants to find you alone and scared by yourself in the jungle, and then he's just gonna cut your throat.
Yeah. It's a dangerous ninja, man.
Because that's the only time, really, you're going to be able to get a series of auto attacks off of Zed to be useful enough to have that Black Cleaver. That's a 1v1 situation.
Word right there. Not for long. Danny's going to kick it over. Kicking the wards. All right, well, here comes the home guard. No teleport out of this, it looks like. Yeah, they don't really have a good engage right now. Mafa trying to do his best on the KT Rolster B side to control more of those wards as well. And there's another Baron. Possibly they're going to clear the vision. Are they going to go for it?
They didn't clear out the ward.
I was going to say, yeah. I feel like they were expecting maybe Ozone to come in right then. They didn't have time. Be careful about it.
Finally going back and clearing it out right there. Insect popping goes, just he doesn't even want to get in that situation again.
Yeah.
He learned his lesson from the last couple times, I think.
He's been caught a bunch this game, actually. He's 0-4-0, which is not a common score we see on Insect.
Well,
0-3-0 for score. It's not a common score as well.
I mean, it's just a casualty of their team composition.
Wow.
And the way that we see MVP Ozone playing this game. It's really hard to get away from a teleporting rise with Home Guard just running at you and rune prisoning you. That's not really something that you can play for because you have to play so far back that you're never going to get any farm if you constantly try and keep it counted.
And there's a Baron, so they're going to go for it. KT Rolster B trying to take their second Baron of the game. We'll see if Ozone lets them. Dandy coming in. Dade is there as well. A lot of zoning going on. They don't need very many people to do Baron, but it's going slow. A little bit of silence action coming in from Mappa. Will they get this Baron? Here we go. There's the absolute zero. Just zoning people into the pit, I guess. Oh, man, Mappa immediately dying. Machine Corruption comes in. 2 kills already for Dade. Imp gets one himself, and that Baron did not go well for Rolster B.
I don't even know what to think about this game.
This is so weird, dude.
It is really bizarre.
I mean, and look at this. Rolster B still 3K up, 4 turrets to 1. And I think they did they get Baron?
Yeah, they got Baron.
They got Baron, all right.
And so now they're actually able to shut down this second tier turret. So they're going to trade tier 2 turrets here. Let's see how fast Dottie can get there if he can get there before Sunday takes it out. No, he cannot.
It's literally like KT Rolster B is playing the single player game where there's these other guys that come around once in a while and try to stop them from taking objectives. And like, oh, they're annoying. Oh, they killed us again. Oh, well, we'll get this turret instead.
And 5-2 the turret score. KT Rolster B with 2 dragons and 2 barrets in 27 minutes.
They're literally not even playing against MVP Ozone. Yeah.
No, they're not. They're not playing them at all.
Yeah. Playing against the turrets. Like, wow, this Baron guy is hard. We keep losing people doing him. He's got these like minions that come in. And
you know, it was such a smart move there by KT Rolster B. Let's take a look at that again. Yeah. So they were only doing Baron with 2 people. It was only in second score. So they had everyone else zoning out, so it just looked like they were Baron dancing instead of actually doing it. Now, I mean, this cleanup is pretty evident. Ohm had a nice absolute zero to trap people in there, and that just allowed Dade to come in with his ult and deal a ridiculous amount of damage. It's what you would expect given MVP Ozone's team composition and the fact that KT Rolster B was going for that Baron and had relatively low health. The real brilliance of that was just doing it with 2 people and then making it look like they were just trying to control vision so that MVP Ozone really had no idea.
I think teams are going to start to realize, though. I mean, it's like if you see 4 people in the bot lane, it's like, yeah, they're probably doing Baron right now. They've got one person, he's got like crazy items to let him do Baron in 10 minutes. And
I mean, that's been a KT Rolster B special. They have the best Baron control probably in League of Legends right now in general of any team with how fast they can take it and how reliably they can take it and how many ways they can take it and the mind games they play with you while they take it. So,
man, Mata
teleport is up. You can see Ryu's like waiting for it. He's actually just waiting for.
He's thinking about it, yeah. And there's a ward. Omen a little bit of trouble here. Gets the silence. There's the fear. Mappa doing some damage as well. Oh, Mappa's absolute zero. Doesn't really go off. There's the teleport. Dade coming in at the wrong time. He's in a little bit of trouble here. Imp managed to pick up the kill first, though. Dade, so much attention going on Imp, though, that Imp has been able to do a lot of damage in the back here during this fight, but not enough. Someday with the double kill. And now KT Rolster B on the attack.
And Someday's not stopping. He gets Glitterlands, taking a few tower hits right there, but Dandy.
One more shock blast. Oh, nearly hits Dandy. I think he was even aiming at Mata, but really missed it. But they're going to get another turret. They're like,
so that teleport was absolutely problematic. The teleport was up. In fact, came in and he put that vision ward in that brush. So he had a lot of time to teleport in, and he probably could have changed the outcome, but that was perfect for KT Rolster B. They eliminated before he could even be in that fight. That cut down the damage that Imp could do as well, and those picks are exactly what KT Rolster B wants.
Dandy's in trouble here. Ryu doing some damage. He's very low health. Maffa, though, trying to find a way to do it. They get the inhibitor. Someday slowed up a bit. Can Imp come in and actually make this work? Living Shadow from Ryu tries to get away. Oh, Someday gets slowed with the hail of arrows, but he's too quick. Can they catch him? Imp trying his best. There's the acceleration gate, changing stances. Someday doing everything he can to get away here, and it looks like it will eventually pay off.
Yeah, I couldn't quite catch him. They were close with that blood boil on him.
Oh, yeah.
Not quite there. Ryu getting quite low as he tried to take that blue buff, looks like. I don't know if he actually got it or not.
Yeah. Jace has gone from the man of tomorrow to being like the top sprinter of tomorrow or something.
The track star of today.
Top track star of tomorrow.
Yeah, let's take a look at this again. So there could have been the teleport right now that you don't see coming in, and Om just absolutely destroyed the bed pick. Yeah, so late. And at this point, Dade can't even use it to catch someone out of position because he's out of position himself.
Yeah.
So this really was the perfect fight for KT Rolster B to roll up the sides. A missed shock blast right there, which is a bit of a pity for KT Rolster B. Someday could have hit a couple people with that, but it didn't really matter in the end.
Yeah. In the end, 6K gold ahead, 7 turrets to 3, and another dragon. So KT Rolster B continues to play the objective single-player game here. They get it.
KT Rolster B has decided that League of Legends is PvE.
That's right. They're like, yeah, these guys, they keep fighting us when we go close to turrets, but it's only a little bit annoying. Like, we lose a couple people, we get the turrets, so it's okay.
I love this though. This is why KT Rolster B is so dangerous, because they possess so many different play styles, and it feels like every time we see them play seriously, they bust out some crazy strategy that we haven't seen before, or some really tricky champion select mind games.
It really reminds me of Najin Sword last year at about this time. They, every time we saw them, they had some new innovative way to win. It's very cool.
I totally agree with you. We're seeing a lot of parallels. Yeah.
Oh, this is his ultimate there, and they're going to go in on this one now. Safeguard over to him from Dandy, keeping him a little bit safer. There's the ace in the hole. Imp at about half health right now, and there's a big minion wave coming into the top of the base right now. That's going to draw the attention away from this bottom inhibitor turret, allow KT Rolster B to put more aggression onto it. And yeah, MVP Ozone, they've got a good team, but they're in a bit of trouble right now.
Well, I just don't think MVP Ozone could predicted this. They have a great team composition. Like, I've been talking so much about it because I think their champion selections for their style and the players that they have are brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is a really smart idea by MVP Ozone.
Oh, man, Dade just evaporating score there. Insect gonna pay for it with his life, though. So 2 kills for Ozone. Managing to pick that one up. Wow, all right. And they're gonna try to push out of this, but we'll see how much they can get. That was a really nice picklet that they were able to get him. I want to see the replay of how that got him set up. I think Scourge just probably got a little bit out of position there.
Yeah, this is a team that can really punish you for being out of position.
Yeah.
They've got so many ways to slow you and keep you where you are if you...
Yeah.
Not in the right space. And so here we go. Someday now, they've got a good defense, though, with this Jace, and there's not a lot of time. They only have 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to get the inhibitor off of this. They're going to be able to barely get the inhibitor turret, at least. Oh, not even getting that. No way. That turret has 20 hit points left, guys. A mild breeze could knock over that turret.
And now they're just going to go for Baron again, probably, and there's not going to be a lot that MVP can do about this.
Well, Dade at about a third health right now, a little bit over, but...
Well, Dade does have that teleport again, and they should be in a good place if they can catch KT Rolster B in the Baron hit with this rise. But
yeah, they can try. Nice block by Ohm. Very good. Yeah, Dade's going to recall just to gain back that health immediately. He's got the home guard enchant. Does have teleport available, like we said. We'll see if KT Rolster B wants to go for this Baron. They're thinking about it, yeah, Baron gets activated anyway. Nope, actually no, it's just shaking its head in anger. Now we go on the Baron. KT Rolster B is going to be able to kill it quite quickly here.
Yeah, of course, Mob's going to be able to tank it very easily. Dade going back, so he's going to teleport in. You're going to see right now. He's just heading back so he can actually get the teleport. They're going to have to back off. They know the teleport come in. Yeah, the Observer circling the ward right there.
Very good.
But they did lose a Nexus turret, so actually KT Rolster B just may want to stall this one out.
Yeah, it wouldn't be bad. I mean, they're going for Baron again. Baron at about a third health. Backtracking again. Imp
Every time that ward goes down, they just backtrack immediately because they can't afford to be caught in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're playing this extremely cautiously. Well, the super minions have been out. Now the inhibitor is back up.
Yep.
So this is the position that MVP Ozone wants to be in right now.
Yeah. Yeah, they're feeling a little bit safer. Now that both teams have gotten to near about 50,000 gold apiece, you know, we're seeing all the items basically getting finished for both teams. Nearly everybody has the build that they want to this game. And so Ozone just needs to find that team fighting opportunity. They need to come back and take some objectives themselves. Both of those.
Yeah, and Dade, you can see here, building that Hextech revolver as well as the QSS. So a very interesting Rise build, but considering the assassination potential of the team
he needs the
that he's playing against, he needs that spell vamp. And he also needs to be able to escape that fear. You know, the QSS mainly to deal with Mafa, who's going to be targeting him with that because he's the main damage source for his team.
Yeah. Yeah, if they can disrupt Dade, they will definitely do dangerously great.
Oh, you almost had it.
I almost had it. There's not really a good word that starts with D for that.
Well, now you're going to hear about 1,000 of them on Twitter.
Probably. At least I'll know that.
I also really
like
the build.
Oh,
Dade's coming in with the teleport.
Coming in right now. Oh my gosh, look at the speed from that guy. Dandy jumping in right away as well.
I don't know if that was the best use of that teleport, though.
Yeah, that was a bit odd, but I don't know.
And that's a big win for KT Rolster B. That's really a load off their mind. They were so afraid of that one summoner spell, and now they don't have to fear it anymore. They can continually poke until someone has to go back. They can make more active plays on the map in these objectives, and immediately they're going to start doing Baron. That was that teleport may have actually won KT Rolster B this game.
It's quite possible, and this time they've got Ryu in the back with that Living Shadow. Was doing a bit of zoning. Baron getting very low. Can Dade do anything about it? Ward's coming over the wall. They're going to try to steal it. They don't get it. Insect gets the Baron. Dandy immediately going down. Dade trying to get in the middle of the fight to do something. Ryu duking it out with Imp in the back line. Imp cleanses, but it doesn't matter. 2 kills already for Rolster B. Home. Helping. Well, Someday gets the double kill. And there it is. Mata, the sole survivor. And Ozone just cannot team fight. Yeah, that will really for certain be the game.
I really want to know why that teleport happened, because I couldn't. The camera went over there late, and I'm curious as to whether KT Rolster B managed to catch someone out of position and force that teleport out of MVP,